Hi, welcome to the show. Today we're talking about how to start a book. 4 simple ways to start a book today. The show is brought to you thanks to the Your Family Story system, which helps you record a loved one's life story. And you could be helping them with an autobiography, a memoir, a biography, or some other life story project. But I have some free sections on how to do this at the end of the show. So stay with me for all the information. If you're brand new to Forever Young Autobiographies, a big hello. This is the place where we learn how to create life stories for family and friends so unique memories can live on. And it'd be simply great if you could follow, subscribe, like the show and share it with a friend. Now, a bit of a story. When I was growing up, there was an old quarry near our house and it had filled up with rainwater over the decades, and us kids would climb up the rock face and jump into the water and have heaps of fun over summer. We would be jumping, diving, flipping. But the first time that you actually jumped off this cliff face was a little bit scary, I must admit. But when there was other kids watching you and you'd seen them do it before, you sort of had to face your fear and just do it. And I kind of think this is very similar to when you're starting a life story. You get up there on that cliff face, that riding cliff face, and you've just got to, just take that plunge. So today I've got 4 tips on how to start a book specifically today, and I'm going to share those with you. So let's get to it. The first section of this show is about doing some questions, some pre-work about how to get started. And I really want you to start with these points in mind. So firstly is why, or what motivates you to create this book or this life story project. Then also, who are you writing it for? Who are you creating it for? Could be friends, it could be family, it could be, the wider public, or might be just for your eyes only. Having that clear really helps you get started. And the final question I want you to think about is, what type of book are you creating, or what type of life story project? What's the format? Is it going to be short? Is it going to be long? When you think about these questions and those answers that come up, it's really going to help you take that first step to get started in creating a life story project. My second tip is sort of about starting and finishing all at once. Sometimes it's easy to start a book if you just do the prelogue or you do the epilogue, so the end bit. So either do the beginning or the end. And one way I think this is great, is getting you started, is that it helps you focus on your messages. It might be your overall themes or your conclusions. So you might like to just frame it in your mind as, I'm sitting down, I'm just going to write an email or a letter to my readers. And that is a great way to get started. And you can include in there things such as why you're writing, so the motivations for writing. Might be highlights from your life, could be themes that you're covering in the book, life lessons that you've learned, or what you hope that readers will get out of your work. So that's a great way. Start at the very beginning or start at the very end. Now, my third tip is all about going with the flow. Now, when you sit down and you think about a full life, there's definitely some sets of time there, natural chapters of time. And you're going to start in one of these, and I want you to think about starting in one that's attractive. Obviously periods of our life, some are more attractive than others. But if you pick one that's got good energy, it's got a good vibe about it, hopefully you're going to be happy and excited to start writing there. So it doesn't matter if it's not the very beginning of the book, it could be somewhere in the middle. That's fine. Just start writing about that time, because it's going to naturally give you a smile on your face. You're going to get into that writing flow really easily because it's enjoyable, and you're going to be remembering all these memories that, were a great time of your life. So that's a really good idea. Go with the flow of a good energy, a good time in a life. The last tip I have for you today is to write piece by piece. So instead of just saying to yourself, I've got to write a huge book, it's too much, I've got to start at the start. No, just tell yourself, I'm not going to start at all. I'm just going to use some reverse psychology on myself. I'm just going to say, no, I'm just going to write one story, or I'm going to write one memory. And you're just not going to tell yourself it's a big project. Nope, I'm just going to do one little slither, one little thing at a time. And then over the days, over the writing sessions, you're going to stack those stories on top of each other. And then, over time, you're going to have that complete life story. Just don't psych yourself out by saying it's a big project. Nope, break it down. Just tell yourself one story at a time. So there you go. That's what a writing coach knows about how to start a life story, how to start a memoir, whatever it is that you're doing. And to recap, we talked about 4 different ways you can get started. So the first was to answer those pre-questions. That's going to really reframe your project and help you get started. They were why, who, and what format is this project. The second is to start and finish at the same time. So you've got the prologue or the epilogue. You can choose there. The third one was to go with the flow of a nice memory, a nice time in your life, and get started there. And finally, use that reverse psychology to do piece by piece. So I hope this little show here has given you, some tips to overcome some negative mindset or some mindset sort of, it's a bit of friction there to get started. Now I want you to really get creating on your life story project. And this is just a small snapshot of a bigger article I have about this topic over at my website, foreveryoungautobiographies.com/how to start a book. I will leave a link for this in the show notes, so please go click it, go over to the article and take a read. And while you're there, answer this question for me. Have you started your life story project at all? Have you started it yet? Doesn't matter if it's one word answer. I'd love to hear about it. Also, at the top of the show, I mentioned the Your Family Story system, and you can get some free sections for that over at the article or here in the show notes as well. So the Your Family Stories system helps you interview a loved one and record their life story. And it's a phased approach, step by step. I show you how to do that in the Your Family Stories system, but I'm giving away some free sections for that system so you can just, dip your feet in the water and see if it's for you. To get that, you go to foreveryoungautobiographies.com/free. Please check that out and see if it's for you. Now, I'll be back again really soon with another topic, so it'd be great if you could follow, subscribe, like the show, share it with a friend. Hell, why not just leave me a review as well if you got some value out of it? That'd be really, really great. And until then, everyone, happy writing.